Festive Pulse Meter, and I'm in Alwar, Rajasthan, a place that is sandwiched between Jaipur and Delhi. In fact, if you go 150 kilometers up north, you hit Jaipur, 160 kilometers down south, you hit Delhi. So it's pretty much equidistance from the two places. The reason why we picked Alwar is not because of the magnificent forts and palaces, but because the Alwar economy is rather unique. It rests on three important pillars. It rests on agriculture, it rests on mining, and it rests on industry. In fact, not very far away from here, Bhiwadi is a place where there are approximately 10,000 odd industrial units over there. The last 2 years have not been particularly good because of the overall drought, but this year things are looking up. There seems to be, as you can see around me, I'm in fact in the Hope Circus market, which is the largest market here in Alwar. There is a pulse clearly, but are customers really willing to spend their money?
It has not been the best of times for Alwar, a region with a population of around 450,000 people. Being in an eco-sensitive zone, earlier this year, the National Green Tribunal had come down heavily on illegal mining in the region and banned it. Though welcome from an environmental standpoint, the move, however, has hit the region hard, since a big chunk of its population is directly or indirectly dependent on it. The other big source of income, agriculture, too has come under stress due to two back-to-back years of drought. In fact, locals say that even before the droughts, the agriculture pain was evident since land holdings have shrunk substantially as families expanded. In the backdrop of these issues, I decided to start my day by checking into the demand appetite for motorcycles and scooters, a key indicator of the underlying economic health of the region. Hero MotoCorp is a dominant player here, with its fill it, shut it, forget it, value for money bikes enjoying a market share of 70%.
So how is demand really looking like on the ground? I'm outside two showrooms, Mahindra and Mahindra and Hero MotoCorp, two very important rural or semi-urban brands to really understand what demand is looking like on the ground. Are customers willing to loosen their wallets ahead of the festive season? With me now is Nikun Sanghi, one of the big dealers for both Hero MotoCorp and Mahindra. Of course, we are in the Hero MotoCorp showroom. Nikun Sanghi, thanks very much for joining us. You know, you've been in Alwar for what, 33 years now? So tell us about, what is the demand looking like here ahead of the festive season? And give us like a historical context. What was it like 5 years ago? How has demand changed, especially when we look at two-wheelers from 5 years vis-a-vis today?
So, see, basically Alwar is an agriculture and a mining community. And we've had some wonderful years. We have seen times where customers would actually get on to lorries to get their bikes down. And that was the kind of demand Hero had. And Hero had almost 80% plus market share here in Alwar. And I would say that's not changed much. We still definitely are market leaders by leaps and bounds. But what has really happened is that we now have reached out to the customer. So we have a secondary channel and we are now trying to go as near the customer as possible. So we have a lot of rural setups for customers where customers can actually go there and buy. But yes, if you look at demand, then there is some change which is happening. And that change is that now the customer has options. You have a number of other manufacturers, and what is making impact definitely is HMSI. And HMSI in terms of what is happening in scooters.
Right.
So they definitely are market leaders on scooters.
Right. Because when I look around here, and I'm sure this will be the trend pretty much in all the two-wheeler, dealerships, inventory size is high. And is that got something to do with the fact that companies are also stocking up ahead of the festive season?
So this is what they'll normally do, Ronojoy, because what really happens is that we peak demand during in festival season. And there is no way a company can produce sufficient number of vehicles pre that demand period. So unless you have an inventory planning and keep stocks for the festival season, you are likely to have a stock out. And if you are likely to have a stock out, you lose retail. It will go to competition. So mostly I think all companies would plan and stock their dealers for that festival period demand. So I think that's inventory build-up which is happening not just here, but across two-wheeler dealers.
So therefore, clearly, the optimism levels are high that demand this festive season will also be very, very high then.
Yes, I would say, because first time after 4 years that we are seeing a positive sentiment. The positive sentiment has come out of a good monsoon. In Alwar, we've had 3 consecutive failures of monsoon, and the first monsoon that we have which has been reasonably good. I would say ki dil mange more, we needed more of it. But
right. Okay, so you're talking about company demand, company optimism levels being high. But what is the ground reality?
So ground reality is that it's not going to be as rosy as we think it is, because the Mahanarega money is not coming in, the MSPs have not been revised, and recently Alwar is very important for onion, and you have seen onion prices crashing, so the customer has not really got the money that he would have out of the onion crop. So the next good crop that he will have will only be in February.
M&M is another brand that resonates strongly with the locals here. Remember I said how landholdings are shrinking? Well, that has prompted the younger folks in agricultural families to branch out on their own and make the extra buck. Products like the Bolero, Maximo are often bought not just for personal uses, but also to ferry people around. So how has the mining ban and poor monsoons impacted volumes?
Hugely impacted this business. See, because my customer is not an urban customer. My customer is not the one who would come from the city. My customer is the one who would normally use his vehicle for commercial exploitation, even if he's a Bolero customer. So we have people hiring Boleros for marriages, hiring Boleros for festival, hiring Boleros to go to a pilgrimage. So the entire focus of the customer when he walks into my showroom is how will he commercially exploit the vehicle that he is going to buy. So even when we are funding that customer, we don't look at his present assets. We look at his income generation capacity. If he'll be able to generate sufficient income to repay his loan, that's when we finance him.
I caught up with two men who had just bought their vehicles, but were planning to use them for two entirely different purposes.
सुप्रोवैन लिया अभी हमने।
अच्छा।
जो टूरिस्ट जो आता है, यात्री जो आता है, बस स्टैंड पर जो यात्री आता है हमारा, उस यात्री को बस स्टैंड से और मंदिर तक ले जाने के लिए ये मंदिर की तरफ से फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट ये वैन चलती है हमारी, जो यात्रियों को बस स्टैंड से मंदिर तक ड्रॉप करती है और फिर मंदिर से वापस बस स्टैंड ड्रॉप करती है।
तो आप इन प्रोडक्ट से अलग अलग तरीके से लोग यूज करते हैं। आप इसको मतलब लोगों को
बिल्कुल
अप डाउन करवाने के लिए, कोई इसको किसी और तरीके से,
बिल्कुल कोई स्कूल में भी यूज में लेता है, कोई अगर किसी तरह वैसे भी काम आता है, पैसेंजर के लिए भी एग्रीकल्चर एरियाओं में, रूरल एरियाओं में वैसे भी काम आती है इस तरह की गाड़ियाँ।
अभी आपके पास ऐसी कोई गाड़ी है?
मैक्सिमो है।
मैक्सिमो है। तो आप एक और आप कर रहे हो। वसीम जी, आप बोलेरो ले रहे हो, आप ये गाड़ी क्या अपने पर्सनल यूज के लिए, कमर्शियल यूज के लिए?
जी सर, पर्सनल यूज के लिए।
आप अभी कितने सालों के?
मेरी एज 24।
फैमिली किस में है?
फैमिली सर खुद का बिजनेस है।
कृषि में?
कृषि भी है, उसके अदरवाइज उसके अलावा बिजनेस भी है।
अच्छा, तो आपको थोड़ा बताइए कि एग्रीकल्चर कैसा हो रहा है यहाँ पे? आप तो जानते होंगे कि
हाँ ठीक हो रहा है सर। अब की बार बरसात अच्छी है तो अच्छा ही हो रहा है।
इस बार बरसात अच्छा है। That's largely how the automobile market is looking like. I'm right now outside the most famous mall of the Alwar region. In fact, I will soon be meeting the CEO of the largest real estate company. Remember, October, November, December, these 3 months are very, very important for the real estate market because these 3 months alone account for 50% of the total business these guys make in 1 year. So how is the real estate market like? What is the appetite of brands in this region? Walk with me as I find out. Your company, Ajay Group, is the largest real estate developer. We are right now in the middle of the largest mall in Alwar. How many malls like this do you have here?
We presently have only this one as a commercial project, but we have done a number of residential projects as well in Alwar. There are around 5 completed projects at present, which we have done in Alwar only. Okay.
Tell me a little bit about the kind of, like how many companies, how many brands are represented in this mall?
See, in Alwar is not a place where brand culture works very well. It has been our experience in past also that many brands which came in Alwar but couldn't fare very well. So with this information, we proceeded in this commercial building, and we tried to give the units, the commercial units, on an outright sale basis. And which is very different in places like Delhi where it's on the lease basis. Generally it is on the lease basis, but here we knew that a sense of ownership was very important with the people, and lease and the maintenance cost thereafter would be very difficult for people to sustain. So from the very beginning, we let the people to enjoy the ownership rights, and we sold it outright. And now everybody who has got the property here, the individual units people possess, they do their business according to the nature of things which can be sustained in Alwar. And number of shops have been opened. For the past 6 months, we have started giving possessions, and number of shops have been opened, and people are really enjoying, thronging this place very well.
You know, tell me, because in the recent past we've seen mining has been impacted in this region.
Yes.
Have you seen an impact of mining, because a large population must have been dependent on mining? Agriculture, another big source of employment. That also, there have been 2 successive years of drought. Has that impacted on-ground sales?
Yes, certainly, because see, any macroeconomic factor like you said, mining or the agriculture certainly will have an impact on the economy on the micro level also. So drought, fortunately this year we had good rainfall, so it is a thing of past, but yes, we faced drought for 2 years. And mining, especially Alwar being very rich in these natural resources, and but also it is in the thick of Aravalli ranges and the forest area, so all the mining industry is grappling with this environmental issue. So these things have impacted, no doubt. But apart from that, Alwar is also is a place where a lot of industries are also there. We have Nimrana, we have Berhod, we have Bhiwadi, Khushkheda, all these places. So, and Alwar is also good in industry. So we have this industrial backup and support. So somehow things are working on. And but yes, it would have been better. I agree with you.
How is this year looking now? Festive season is around the corner.
मेरा मानना यह है कि इस साल काफी बेहतर होना चाहिए, काफी बेहतर होना चाहिए. एक तो यह है कि बहुत सारी चीजें जो पहले थी वो अब नहीं है. बाजार में बहुत बड़ा बदलाव आने वाला है. यानी जब से सरकार बदली है, केंद्र में भी बदली और लगभग उसी समय राजस्थान में भी बदली है, तब से एक सेट ऑफ जो पॉलिसी चेंजेस चले आ रहे हैं, उससे एक तरफ तो ऐसा हुआ है कि एक टेम्परेरी सेटबैक हुआ है रियल स्टेट को, लेकिन अब वो धीरे धीरे एक स्थायित्व लेने लगा है. एक जगह मिलने लगी है कि अब चीजें बदल के और अपना वो स्वरूप लेंगे जो सरकार ने सोचा है एज ए पॉलिसी. तो आई फील दैट दिस ईयर शुड बी गुड. द रेनफॉल विच वी डिस्कस दैट दिस ईयर मानसून वाज वेरी नाइस और अच्छा हुआ. और इसके अलावा जो सरकार की जो पॉलिसी है, केंद्र सरकार की भी और राज्य सरकार की भी, वो अपना एक स्वरूप लेने लगी हैं. तो और इससे बहुत सारा बदलाव होने वाला है. तो वो बदलाव के बिल्कुल
कौन सा स्पेसिफिक पॉलिसी?
देखिए, केंद्र सरकार की एक पॉलिसी आई है जिसमें उन्होंने कैश ट्रांजैक्शंस को बिल्कुल रोक दिया है. एक तरीके से वो एक नंबर ऑफ बहुत सारे सेट ऑफ पॉलिसीज से उन्होंने किया है. उससे इस बाजार में कुछ तब्दीलियां आई हैं और उसके बहुत बड़े एक इम्पैक्ट आए हैं. इन्वेस्टर एक्टिविटीज को भी उससे काफी बदलाव मिला. इन्वेस्टर थोड़ा पीछे हुआ, लेकिन अब वो चीज बाजार में पूरी तरह से अपनी एक बैठ गई है और एक एब्जॉर्ब हो गई है कि ये चेंज है और इसको आगे ऐसे चलाना है. सरकार ने अभी रियल एस्टेट रेगुलेटरी बिल, आपने सुना होगा, पास किया है. इसके अलावा अपार्टमेंट ओनरशिप एक्ट एक आने वाला है. तो इन सब चीजों से जो बिल्डर फ्रेटर्निटी भी है वो भी 2-4 हो रही है, समझने की कोशिश कर रही है. कस्टमर भी उम्मीद कर रहा था कि कुछ बदलाव होने वाला है. बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स जो पहले चल रहे थे, ठीक नहीं चल रहे थे, उनमें कई दिक्कतें भी आ रही थी. कई किस्म की कस्टमर ग्रीवेंसेस भी थी. बहुत सारी ऐसी बातें थी जिनकी उठापटक के चलते एक कंफ्यूजन सा पैदा हो गया था. और अब वो चीजें धीरे धीरे एक सतही रूप लेती जा रही हैं. और आने वाले समय में मुझे उम्मीद है कि वो सब कंफ्यूजन्स क्लियर होने वाले हैं और सरकार की एक फाइनली जो अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग पॉलिसी है, जो अपने नरेंद्र मोदी साहब की, जो प्रधानमंत्री की जो पॉलिसी है, उससे बाजार में बहुत बड़ा चेंज आ रहा है, खासतौर से रेजिडेंशियल मार्केट में.
अच्छा, अब आप एक चीज में, आखिरी सवाल ये है कि अब आप इन्वेस्टमेंट्स डाल रहे हो यही सोच के कि पिछले 2 साल तो कुछ खास था नहीं, इस साल शायद अच्छा हो, क्योंकि ये मॉल भी नया है मेरे ख्याल से, only 6 months old. So are you now really gearing up for this festive season also?
And when we talk about ourselves, our group is now focusing on the residential part, residential sector. और रेजिडेंशियल सेक्टर में जो अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग पॉलिसी के तहत काम है उस पर हम लोग काफ़ी फोकस कर रहे हैं. आने वाले समय में वो वक्त की मांग रहेगी ऐसा हमें लगता है, क्योंकि लोगों की और क्लाइंट्स की जो बायर की जो रिक्वायरमेंट है वो धीरे धीरे करके एक छोटे मकान के ऊपर सीमित होती जा रही है. क्योंकि न्यूक्लियर फैमिलीज हैं और अब अल्ट्रा न्यूक्लियर फैमिलीज का भी चलन ज़्यादा हो गया है, तो ऐसे में बहुत बड़े मकान की जरूरत नहीं है. और इसमें ये अफोर्डेबल पॉलिसी के तहत छोटे मकानों का जो प्रचलन बढ़ा है और बहुत ही मतलब रियली सेंस में अफोर्डेबल भी है वो मकान, तो उससे इसमें काफ़ी बदलाव आ रहा है. और हमारा फोकस ये है कि एक बहुत बड़े बाजार को जिसको हम कैटर नहीं कर रहे थे, पहले हम लोग 90% बाजार को कैटर नहीं कर रहे थे, यानी जो 15 लाख से नीचे वाला जो बाजार था उसको कोई कैटर ही नहीं करता था. वो 90% बाजार है. 10% के लिए सब लोग काम करते थे, और उस 10% के लिए जब हम काम करते थे तो उसमें ये हो रहा था कि भाई हम ज्यादा यूनिट्स बना रहे हैं, लेने वाले लोग कम हो गए. देखो पॉलिसी का बदलाव हो गया, ये हो गया, वो हो गया. और अब जब ये परिस्थिति खुली है कि भाई 90% बाजार जो है उसको भी कैटर करना शुरू करने के लिए बिल्डर्स का ध्यान बढ़ा है, आकृष्ट हुआ है, तो ऐसे में अब बहुत बड़ा बाजार खुल गया है और हमें लगता है कि हम आगे काम कर सकते हैं और उसमें डिमांड की कोई कमी मैं नहीं देखता हूं.
अक्टूबर, नवंबर, दिसंबर, ये जो 3 महीने हैं, ये रियल एस्टेट मार्केट में हाउ मच डू दीज 3 months contribute to the overall year?
हाँ, दिस यू कैन से ऑलमोस्ट 50%.
50%?
Yes.